What's up, everyone? Today we have a familiar face on here. It's the Toro that we replaced the spindles on. Owner said he's been using it for like 5-6 days a week for the last at least month and a half or longer. 4 or 5 hours a day, just springtime mowing, just constantly. And all of a sudden we have a belt rip. He thought he could replace it, looked how difficult it was going to be, called me and said, "Can you replace the belt?" When he told me that, I was really hoping it was this belt, but it's not. It's the hard belt. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see. In there, that's the pulley that's driving the self-propel, and that is directly connected to the shaft, obviously, of the motor. Well, this belt goes on top of that, so in order to really get this working, we have to, or changed, we're going to have to remove that belt. Hopefully that's not too difficult. I don't really remember, to be honest. We might take this off the table, tip it over on its side, prop it up with something so it doesn't completely tip over, flood the carb, or the air filter, and go that direction. Not sure, but either way, we're going to give it a try this way and see if it's even a possibility. So I'm going to see if I can't wiggle that belt off. Oh, and for the title, this is a ECS 180 CKA 3000. So, but more or less this is the same as like a Time Master or anything. They're all basically the same. As you can tell, I put on its side. It just wasn't enough room, at least not for these hands, maybe tiny hands, but anyway. Drive belt actually just came right off. You just have to push it on the other end of the pulley, the one that's on the shaft. Just kind of have it roll over the edge. Make sure the spark plug is disconnected. Don't just turn it on and off. Disconnect the spark plug. It's even easier if you just take the spark plug out, but I didn't need to because I was on that compression stroke. But once you get it rolled over, it just slips right off. So now I'm going to attempt to put you in a place where you can see. I doubt you'll be able to because I have to, but more or less, if I can't, I'll review it before anything, and if I can't show anything, then I'll just at least explain it. Got it done. I tried recording it, looked at it, you can't see jack. I could barely see anything, my hands are in the way. So this is what I'm doing. Like I said, I have to remove the drive belt. Now, this bracket here prevents it from moving, and you have to bend this back. It can be real hard because that spring is there. If you remove that bracket, it allows it to bend more out, and then you can put the belt right back on. Just make sure that you have the other end on the other end of the pulley. It's a little cumbersome. Be careful if you let go. You can crush your hand on the other side because the transmission wants to fly back. So be careful. Never put your hand in this area. Always either on top or on the back, or you could potentially hurt yourself. If that's really your goal, then that's a good way of doing it, but I would suggest not. Now that everything is ready, all we have to do is slip this around. Then twist the blade, and voila. And at this point in time, you would check to see if there's tension, and there is a little bit. A little bit of belt still right there, but not enough to engage it, because, look at that. That's not going to be a problem. Now, we're going to double check our work. We see the belt is on the top, if you can see that. Hopefully can, and the drive belt is on the bottom. One thing I would highly recommend doing is getting both belts. Since you're taking them off, you might as well replace both of them, but he didn't do that. There is another machine he wants me to change the belts on so this doesn't happen to him again. So I will probably tell him to get another one. But other than that, that's really about it. It's really not too complicated. It's a little hard just because there's a lot of springs, and you know, it's just cramped. That's the real tough part, is that it's just cramped. One thing we do have to do is put the belt guard back on. I do believe he gave me the wrong screws in there, but I didn't take it off. It came like this. I think that's how he knew what was wrong. So, not like that, we're not. There we go. Should either be a 3/8 or 10 millimeter, I don't remember. We'll crank them down. Just know that having to do this job isn't necessarily the worst, but it's in a ranking system of like hard or not hard, or and 1 to 10, I would say this is like a 3, maybe a 4. That's only strictly because you can take some springs off and you can do some other stuff to make it easier, so you don't have to put so much force into it, but it's going to take a whole lot longer. You're going to take off a whole lot more stuff, so I wouldn't do that. Get a friend, have them help you. Get something that retracts, you know, whatever. I just use my hands, but like I said, be careful if you do that. Don't get your hand crushed. He took the cover off, like I said. I'm going to put the cover back on real quick and we'll give this a test. Actually, no. That cover's a super big pain to put on sometimes, so let's not do that. Let's give it a test now. There you have it. I'm going to finagle that cover back on and screw it in, and we should be set. You can finagle it with the bar that's sitting right there on. I don't like to. It gives you just enough room to if you just take it off, to not have to bend it in awkward positions. So I just took off that little support bar. Makes it a lot easier. It's like 4 screws. And there we have it. Okay, pretty much done here. Just have to put these back on, and that's about it. That's not too difficult in and of itself. So, I guess it is time to depart. I'm going to go ahead, finish putting this back on, and we should be good to go. I brought you back so I can tell you at least part of the belt number I got. So, the belt that he provided has a belt number of 121-5765. It looks to be about 1/2 inch, no idea the length. However, there is also part number here of 060120022. It's a pretty small belt, but you know, it doesn't really have a large travel. Hopefully this helped out anyone. And like I said, this is also pretty much the exact same process for a Time Master. These share a very similar platform. In fact, it's just a little bit more robust on this, and you know, a little extra, like these supports are not on the Time Master obviously, but the majority of it is basically the same. Like we see, keep watching, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101. I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good rest of your evening.